During this video, you will gain a basic understanding of the Wisconsin Revenue Limit Worksheet. Shown here are the first 2 pages of the 23-24 Revenue Limit Worksheet. Note that the image of the Revenue Limit Worksheet is divided into 2 halves. The left half, page 1, is the basic work area, showing prior year information, enrollment, and equalized value. The right half, page 2, flows down by steps through data entry and calculations to determine the overall district levy and equalized levy rate. The next 4 views coming up are close-ups of the upper and lower half of the first 2 pages of the worksheet, where a more detailed explanation is provided. The upper left corner of page 1 provides the base revenue limit data from last year, upon which the calculation for the next year's revenue limit begins. The base revenue limit showing here is $72,928,544, which carries over to line 1 on page 2. In the middle of page 1 is an area dedicated to calculating the membership averages of full-time equivalency students. The revenue limit formula uses a 3-year rolling average to assess the change in enrollment from one 3-year rolling period to the next. At line 2, the first 3-year period is 2020 through 2022 and shows the membership average at 7,096. At line 6, the second 3-year period is 2021 through 2023 and shows a new membership average of 7,105. Prior to confirming the third Friday count, when both the 2023 summer FTE and third Friday count are unknown, the data from the prior year is used to estimate the 3-year average. While we know the resulting average is wrong, it is a reasonable practice. Line 10B shows the declining enrollment exemption computation. If the new 3-year rolling average is less than the prior 3-year rolling average, the district is eligible for a declining enrollment exemption, and the spreadsheet will automatically calculate that amount, which would be used on page 2. We now move to the top of the right-hand side of the revenue limit worksheet and begin calculating the new revenue limit. Keep in mind that these calculations are only preliminary until all key data are known. We begin on line 1 with the prior year base limit of $72,928,544, which is divided by the prior 3-year rolling average of 7,096, found on line 2, to generate a 2023-24 revenue base per member of $10,277.42. The biennial budget allowed for a $325 increase in the revenue per member, which is found on line 4A. The $10,277.42 plus $325 totals $10,602.42. However, this year the legislature changed the low revenue ceiling to $11,000, and since that amount is higher than the $10,602.42, the entry on line 5 of $11,000 is used. No other adjustments applied. Line 7A is calculated by multiplying the maximum revenue amount per member, line 5, by the updated 3-year rolling average from line 6, which generates revenue limit before any allowable exemptions are included. The next series of entries include possible recurring and non-recurring exemptions. $61,116 and $5,332,157 respectively. that increase the allowable revenue limit. It's important to note that this revenue limit amount constitutes about 90% or more of all revenue in our operational budget. What happens with our revenue limit is very important to our budget. The entries shown in 14A through 14C comprise the levy portions of the revenue limit: the general fund, Fund 10, the non-referendum debt fund, Fund 38, and the sinking fund, Fund 41, that is used for pre-funding construction projects. Fund 41 is not used in the Stevens Point School District at this time. The entries for line 15 are not part of the revenue limit formula, but appear on the worksheet for the purpose of determining the total levy amount, which includes referendum approved debt, community services, prior year chargeback, and an entry for use only by Milwaukee and Kenosha. Line 14, the total limited revenue, and line 15, total revenue from other levies, are added to create on line 16 the total fall proposed levy. In this example, $42,647,083. As we approach the end of the worksheet, only the determination of the levy rate or mill rate remains, and that is calculated by dividing the total levy found on line 16 by the TIF out equalized value found on the bottom of the left-hand side of the form where it reads fall property values. That's at the bottom of the first page. I've inserted it at the bottom of this slide for quick reference. The resulting levy rate is shown just below line 16, and in this case, it computes to 0.00670090. Now multiply that rate by 1,000, and you get the mill rate of $6.70 per thousand equalized. This concludes the revenue limit tutorial.